Hey, what's going on there? This is Michael with Wildlife X Team, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should help an injured wildlife animal. So if you're out at a park or in the wild doing a hike or whatever, and you see an animal that you think might be injured, first stop. Don't go up to it, don't approach it, just watch. Odds are the animal might not even be hurt. Sometimes they're animals just kind of goofing around or just doing their own thing, and they might appear to be hurt to us, but they're actually not hurt. So just watch it for a little while to see whether or not it is actually injured. Also, if the injured animal in question is a danger animal, such as a fox, a skunk, a cheetah, a lion, a whatever, wherever you are, if it's a potential danger animal, even deer could be a little bit dangerous when they get scared or nervous around humans. If it's a big animal like that, a big mammal, or any type of predator that could potentially hurt you, stay away from it and call a wildlife expert immediately. The reason for this is because the animal is injured, it is alert, it does not want to be around people, especially like humans. If it was a human that was injured, they would know that you're going to help them, but a wildlife animal might be thinking, oh, this human's gonna come finish me off, and so don't go up to the wildlife animal because it might hurt you. And one more thing, avoid handling adult animals, such as adult birds, adult bunnies. Any adult animal you should avoid handling due to injury prevention, due to disease prevention, because these animals are more likely to be carrying a disease. For example, if an animal is rabid, they may be paralyzed, such as a raccoon. That's one of the symptoms of rabies, is actually paralysis near the end and kind of psychotic behavior. So if an animal is an adult or it is older, just let it be, don't handle it at all, and unfortunately that's just the cycle of nature. So if the animal is young and it's a non-dangerous animal, then you just want to observe it, and you want to identify this one thing. Number one, is it natural or is it not natural? If the animal is just struggling, maybe it's slightly deformed, or maybe it was injured from something in the wild, the unfortunate truth is that that's kind of just the cycle of life in nature, and you're going to want to let it be because it's going to die quicker, it's going to have a more peaceful death, and then a predator is going to eat it, and so it's going to help sustain the natural environment. However, if the animal was injured by something non-natural, for example, chemicals, oil, human intervention such as getting ran over by a car, then you're going to want to observe it, and you may want to call a wildlife expert. The sad truth is that in most natural cases, human prevention usually does little to no good at all. For example, there have been cases where people have found injured animals, such as an elk, and they've rehabilitated it, they healed it up, and then when they tried to put it back into the group actually rejected it due to human scent, or maybe it was just gone for too long, but one way or another, the group did not accept the animal, and so then it would get killed in the wildlife anyways because it would be alone. This also happens with bunnies and birds, where simply handling them with your hands will put your scent on them, and the birds or whatever will not want to be near that animal because you have touched it, you may have transmitted diseases towards it, and it's just their natural conditioning. So when they see, oh, this animal got touched by this person, we're not going to touch it at all whatsoever. So if you see an animal that is slightly injured, maybe an injured bird, touching it or handling it and trying to help it will probably not cause any good anyways. And if you are able to heal it up slightly, then putting it back into the wild is just going to prolong its death and increase suffering. Again, the reason for this is because the animal would probably naturally die anyways, and if we put it back into the wild, it's not going to have any mates, it's not going to have any herd or group to be with because it's very likely going to reject them, and so they're going to be alone, slightly healthier than they were before, but they are just more likely to get eaten by a predator, and it's just going to go back into the natural cycle of life because nature is always seeking balance. In most public parks, such as Yellowstone, it is strictly forbidden to handle the wildlife animals. You're not allowed to feed them, you're not allowed to touch them, scare them, mess with the wildlife at all whatsoever. And that's because the unfortunate truth is, again, that wildlife animals in nature have this natural cycle where you have the small animals like a mouse get eaten by something slightly bigger like a cat or a wolf, and then the wolf gets eaten when it dies by a lion, tiger, or bear, and that's just the natural way of life. It's very unfortunate and it's very cruel compared to the human way, and so don't try to project human values upon the entirety of nature. While it's great to help humans and it's definitely in our instinct to help each other, the truth is that in nature there's a natural cycle to life, and by helping animals such as injured birds, you may not actually be doing good in the long run, because helping injured birds that were injured naturally, again, not artificially, we're excluding situations such as oil and chemicals, but in natural situations when a bird or wildlife animal is injured, it is the natural cycle of life for these animals to get eaten and be food and supplies for a bigger animal. And again, that's just going to continue the natural flow and balance of nature. So at the end of the day, the case is probably going to be that in most cases, 99% of cases, you should not help wildlife animals. And even then, it is strictly forbidden to help wildlife animals. However, if the wildlife animal is non-threatening and you think that it was injured by something that is non-natural, again, if it's fell or got bit by a predator, or there was wind or snow or whatever, those are all natural causes. But something like getting hit by a car or chemicals or oils, if you think the animal is injured from something like that, you should call a wildlife prevention center, the nearest one towards you, because touching it yourself is probably going to be strictly forbidden, and again, it might not be useful. So you want to get a wildlife expert to figure out, can we help this animal? Can we get it rehabilitated back into the wild? So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit tougher one to talk about because again, it's really in our instinct to help people, and we tend to project these values onto animals and nature. But again, the unfortunate truth is that there is a cycle of life, and it can be a little bit tough to observe. So again, my name is Michael with Wildlife X Team. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit a like and comment in the comment section below what you think of the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.